Hello.
Hey Ben, it's so nice to see you again. How have things been since our last session?
Yeah, I mean it's okay. I feel like it was good to talk and to let some stuff out, but I'm still feeling a little bit stuck here and there for sure.
Yeah, yeah, of course. I totally understand that. But I'm really glad you're here again today, joining me for another session. And I've been thinking a lot about what you've said in our last session, that all that pressure that you feel, the self-doubt, the frustration, and how hard it can be to get started on things. And I've put together kind of a map to see how all of these things connect with one another, and we can work on it together. Would you like to go through it?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, great. I will get it up for you in one moment. Just for a little bit of reference, so this model is based on a model in therapy, cognitive behavioral therapy, that maps out how our thoughts, our feelings, our body, and behaviors interact when something stressful may be happening. And we can
Okay.
use it to make sense of the patterns that you've described in our last session. And so in the write-up I've done so far, I've also looked at a few of the bigger picture stuff, like where some of these beliefs might come from and what may keep them going. But for now, I figured we can just start with this basic map and we can build on top of it from there. How does that sound?
Yeah, that sounds good. Let's do it.
Okay, perfect. Let me just get up the map for you. Okay. So you should be able to see it now, right?
Let's see. Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, great. So what we have is five different blocks and a bunch of arrows all over the place. And that might seem a little overwhelming, but we're going to go through it step by step. So we've got situation, thoughts, emotions, behaviors, physical sensations. And so just to start with the situation, let's talk about some that you mentioned last time. For example, maybe getting an assignment. How does that sound?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay,
definitely. I mean, yeah, that sounds good. We can talk about it.
yeah, so let's put that at the top. Okay, so assignments at the top, that's the situation. And in those moments, what's happening with your brain? Your brain is going straight to some difficult thoughts, such as I'm not good enough, I'll fail, people will think I'm dumb. Does that sound about right?
Definitely 100%. Like, it just feels really true whenever I'm going through that.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand. That makes sense. So these thoughts are often what we call automatic thoughts. They are popping up really quickly and they might feel really real even if they're not true. And even if a part of you knows that they're not true, it can be really hard to deal with those thoughts. Um, but it can come also with a lot of pressure, that something bad might be happening, definitely. So
Yeah,
yeah, and a lot of times they don't just come up out of nowhere. It's usually not spontaneous, but probably stemming from something. For example, maybe growing up in an environment with high expectations, maybe in a place where mistakes weren't acceptable, and it wasn't safe to make any. But we can explore that a little bit more later down the line. And for now, we just talk about noticing these thoughts and how believable they might feel in the moment.
sure. Okay.
And when those thoughts come up, could you maybe share some emotions that happen alongside it? What you might be
Yeah,
thinking?
sure. I usually just feel extremely like anxious and like embarrassed as well, and overall just really defeated.
Yeah, you mentioned shame and frustration last time too, like you're letting yourself down.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and physically, you described some chest tightness as well as headaches and feeling really sick.
That's right. Yeah, just feeling extremely tense. Like my whole body tenses up whenever I have to go through that.
It sounds really uncomfortable. And when you're noticing these physical reactions, they tend to be happening when stress is like building up or something feels overwhelming.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. It's whenever I'm like under pressure or I'm thinking that I'm gonna mess something up.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And so sometimes our bodies can react really strongly when we feel under pressure, almost like they're sounding an alarm, like, watch out. And that can be really exhausting, even when nothing is actually threatening us, when nothing is happening. It's your
Hmm.
body trying to protect itself, right?
Right.
Yeah, yeah. And so the behaviors, what's coming up in those moments? So you shared that oftentimes when you start to feel like that and to think like that, you start to procrastinate on different tasks for school, maybe over edit projects and or just completely avoid things altogether.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I usually try to put things off or like avoid them. It just feels safer that way.
Yeah, of course. And in the short term, that does make a lot of sense. It gives you some relief. But over time, have you noticed some things that might be happening?
Well, over time, I feel kind of guilty, like I'm falling behind or that I missed my chance. So just yeah, it's like a loop that I'm stuck in,
Mm.
and I can't seem to get out of it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a loop. It's messages we picked up over time, and it keeps cycling over and over and over again. And I
Mhm.
mean, that's really what this model is showing us, right? So it's showing us that you have something, a triggering situation, and that leads to these really like critical thoughts, like driven with anxiety and strong emotions and physical sensations. And then you're coping with all of that with these different behaviors, like procrastinating, not seeing friends anymore, excessive writing. And that helps with short-term relief. It makes us feel good in the short term. But what happens in the long term is that the cycle is reinforced. And
Mm.
over time, these patterns start to become automatic. And it gets harder because it's not just a one-time thing, it keeps repeating. And sometimes these patterns can be shaped by deeper beliefs, like I must not make mistakes, I'll fail, I'll be judged. And that's something we can look at later in the future. But just for now, seeing this surface level cycle can be really useful just as a first step.
Okay. Yeah, it makes sense, I would say. Now that you put it like that, like yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. And I just want to reiterate that the goal here in our sessions and with your time here isn't to fix you because there's nothing wrong with you, Ben. This is all about just understanding how your brain and your body might be responding when you feel self-doubt or stress, and often in ways that make sense in the moment, but maybe aren't actually serving you in your life right now. And by mapping everything out, we can start to find places in the cycle where we might be able to make small changes, whether that's how you may be responding to the thoughts or how you might treat yourself when anxiety is popping up,
Mhm.
or how you might approach a task when it feels overwhelming.
Okay. So it's like changing the thoughts and the behaviors.
Yeah, yeah, for exactly. So we might be testing some of those thoughts. We might challenge some of those behaviors, like avoidance, like doing
Okay.
small little experiments over time.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And I know that this can feel a little exposing at first, seeing yourself on paper like this, but no pressure to react fully. You can take this with you and you can sit with it and come back to me if you feel that this is not an accurate depiction. Um, but I'm hoping that we can see how things link up together. And this isn't about getting something right. It's just, a way for us to see how things are interacting.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it makes sense, and it is weird to see everything laid out
Yeah.
like that, but um, yeah, it's good to see how everything links up together.
Oh, I'm happy. I'm really glad to hear that. Thank you. And so what we'll do is we'll talk about this further and we'll go a little bit deeper and over time we'll start to do different experiments and talk about it. But I just want to thank you again for showing up today and being here, being present. So thank you.
Yeah. No worries. Thank you too.
Okay, so we'll look at this again at a deeper level at our next session.
Okay.
and we'll go
Sure.
step by step together. Okay.
All right. Thank you so much.
Okay, Ben. We'll see you next time. Thank you.
Yeah. Bye.